So, I hear you're flying solo.
You guys want to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi and Star Wars? Because I am so damn excited to talk about this. I can't wait to watch it. The Obi-Wan show, and ironically, we're doing this on the literal 45-year anniversary of A New Hope. Today, 45 years ago, A New Hope was released. Amazing. All of our lives changed. Whether you were alive then, I was not. I'm not that old. Whether you were alive to experience it then, or you experienced it a month ago or yesterday, Star Wars has forever changed our lives all those 45 years ago. That's so crazy. That's so crazy. But the Kenobi show, I've been talking about it for a long time. This is my literal number one most anticipated piece of content possibly ever. Star Wars is my number one. It's my favorite thing on the planet, regardless of the state that Star Wars is in. Obviously, things are in a weird place right now. You know, the whole sequel trilogy thing and, you know, Boba Fett, but it's fine. It's fine. We have The Mandalorian, which has been amazing. The Bad Batch, which has been cool. We're getting more content. I think it's going to be okay. But the moment like this whole Disney and like Star Wars anthology films and stories were being created, the Obi-Wan story is the one that I wanted the most. It's in a time period that touches me personally the hardest. Between A New Hope and then like Revenge of the Sith, that time period is really important. Really, really important. And I have so much faith in Deborah Chow in doing this. She has a great track record already. Obviously coming off of what I thought was a disappointing show in Book of Boba Fett, I think this is going to be different. I don't expect this to be a flop. I'm going in expectations high. I have my certain things that I'm expecting. But the one thing that I wanted to kind of start off with is Star Wars canon's really important to me. It's probably a little more important than it should be. I probably take it more seriously than I should. That's my like number one thing with a piece of content like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Because of the time period, because of the impact it could have on Revenge of the Sith, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, and A New Hope, which is also one of my favorite movies of all time. Both of them are in my top 4. It's a little scary, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little nervous because of that time period. There are very easy things that could happen that could have major impacts on both movies and the timeline as a whole. But again, I have faith in Deborah Chow. I have faith in Favreau and Filoni. Because of how many people it touches and how important it is, I'm expecting it to be really good. And I'm expecting it to be emotional. I'm expecting it to be dark. I'm 100% expecting to see a semi-broken Obi-Wan Kenobi or Ben, which should be 100% expected based off of what we are coming from with Revenge of the Sith. The story that was told, the visuals that we were given, because I think, again, the only way we could have someone like this be so broken is by giving us true visuals. And that's not, I promise, it's not a jab at The Last Jedi at all. It's definitely not a jab at how they handled Luke and how they completely just turned this guy into this character that doesn't exist without actual real... I swear it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. But if Obi-Wan is broken and depressed, I would fully expect that because we saw all the impact that Anakin had, Order 66 had, everything that went down in Revenge of the Sith. We saw that impact in either other pieces of content. We saw that impact that it had on him. But on the flip side, Luke and the mission to protect Luke should give him a lot of hope, something to work towards, something to keep him engaged and focused and eye on the prize and still focused on a goal versus becoming a hermit and disappearing and disconnecting from the Force and dying. That's not what I expect from Obi-Wan. He still has a mission. We know we're getting some kind of encounter with Vader. Whether it's a fight, whether it's 2 fights, I don't know how they're going to work through multiple fights if that's the case. One fight 100% needs to happen. I've been saying it for a long time. I think it makes total sense. I think it has to happen. At least one fight with Vader because of some of the lines that we've seen in A New Hope and other pieces of content in the original trilogy, other quotes.
He's more machine now than man. twisted and evil.
How would he know that if he doesn't have another encounter with him?
Come with me.
Obi-Wan once thought as you do.
When?
When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
That line is the one that could be a little iffy. Again, I have the mindset that until Vader beats Obi-Wan in a fight, Obi-Wan's always going to be the master. And even on Mustafar when they were fighting and he bent the knee to Palpatine, he still called Obi-Wan master later. He's like, now it's time for you to die, my master. So I think Obi-Wan, in a sense, will always be the master. But then I think obviously in A New Hope, things have flipped. And Vader now knows that he's more powerful and Obi-Wan is old and he's not as strong in the Force anymore as he was. So I think that line is fine. But one fight, 1,000,000% needs to happen. I don't know if they're going to do two, how they're going to navigate that. Again, how that's going to have an impact on the canon. But I want Vader. I want flashbacks. I 100% am expecting Obi-Wan to have PTSD. I'm expecting him to have nightmares, not sleeping well. I fully expect to see some really emotional shit flashing back to the prequels, flashing back maybe to like Clone War content. I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of emotion. I think it's going to be really dark. And I'm just expecting a really, really, really amazing character piece. And just seeing how torn apart and how like Vader and Anakin, like getting more just development with him as a person and how much pain he's constantly in because of the suit and how much mental agony he is feeling and his just constant desire to kill Obi-Wan and find him and get his revenge and the whole situation. Like when Obi-Wan finds out that Anakin lived and he's Vader, what is that reaction gonna look like? What is that like? That would gut me if I was Obi-Wan. And I get the vibe, like in my mind, if Obi-Wan finds out that Vader's Anakin and that he's alive, because of the line Padme spoke to him before Padme died,
there's good in him.
I think that's gonna be kind of the motivating factor for when they actually meet. I don't know how they're gonna meet, but Obi-Wan is probably gonna mention something about Padme potentially. I don't know if that would be a good idea, but the fact that I think in that moment, that's when Obi-Wan's gonna try one more time to convince him to come back, that he made a bad decision, and I think that's gonna be where he kind of, the conversation, and then they're gonna fight. Even though I would 100% expect Vader to just full-blown just bull rush Obi-Wan the moment he sees him and tries to kill him immediately, but I think Obi-Wan's gonna get some words in. I think he's gonna try to convince him. I think that's when he's gonna realize that he's more machine than man, and that his emotions and the kid and brother that he grew up loving and training and going on all those missions is, I think that moment's gonna be like, okay, he's gone. That is not Anakin Skywalker anymore. That is Darth Vader. Vader killed Anakin. He is gone. So the moment that Obi-Wan finds out, it's gonna gut him. And I can't wait to see how they're going to incorporate all these new characters, the way they're going to tell this story. Owen is obviously very grumpy, which is going to be very interesting in that relationship. The big thing, and again, this goes back to the canon, if anyone is remotely even close to sniffing the idea that Luke's there, or that Obi-Wan's there, or anyone sniffs at the idea of figuring out what Obi-Wan's doing, Obi-Wan has to kill them. He has to kill them. That is a must. That is a given. He's going to have to be ruthless. We have that track record with, spoiler alert if you're not caught up on Rebels, the Maul, Obi-Wan interaction, fight, death. Obi-Wan was cool and calm. Like, I think he knew he was going to have to fight Maul in that moment. But the moment Maul figured out, like, oh, you're protecting someone. You're here for a reason, is for someone. You saw a change in Obi-Wan's eyes. That's when he pulled his saber out. He got into his fighting stance and sliced him down. Very poetic death, by the way. The moment anyone even sniffs at the idea that Obi-Wan's there for any reason that could be even close to protecting someone, let alone Darth Vader's child, Obi-Wan's gonna have to cut them down. Gonna have to eliminate them. So that's gonna be interesting to see how that plays into the story and how dark does this get. I saw a quote from Deborah Chow saying that it's going to be along the lines of Joker and Logan in terms of like character focus, which if we're getting even anything close to that, I'm going to be so excited for it. I'm expecting a great show, a lot of emotion. And again, I just really hope that with the track record that we've seen recently, with the way they've handled these legacy characters, Luke, Boba Fett, Solo, Lando Calrissian in Solo, the track record hasn't been great in terms of how our legacy and, iconic characters have been handled. So please, I'm begging that we handle Obi-Wan and Anakin / Vader with as much care as possible. This is going to be a very, very interesting time. And if people don't like this show, what is the reaction going to be? What is going to be the line? And again, I'm going in very optimistic. I'm expecting to have a really good time, very emotional moment. Again, it just bridges that gap between 2 time periods and 2 movies that are some of my favorite movies ever. So I just really hope this works out, and I'm just so excited for it. So I'm very much looking forward to it and getting our reactions in and getting them posted and being able to talk about this show with everyone. So very much excited for it. Do you expect to see Vader being OP in the Kenobi series? Yes. Yes. Absolutely. I 100% am hoping that we get the version of Rogue One Vader even turned up a little bit more. I want to see him wrecking Inquisitors when they don't do what he wants. I want to see crazy OP Vader lightsaber in battle just doing what Vader does. I think that's going to be a must. I think they need to take what they did in Rogue One and turn it up a notch in this series and make us see the ruthless side of Vader. I want to see the human side of Vader. The pain that he's in mentally and physically, and just the constant agony that he's in about Padme, his anger about Obi-Wan. I want to see as much Vader mentality and physical just going hard as we can see. That's easily one of the biggest things I want to see in this show.